All right, today, day 362, want to go along the same theme as yesterday, doing a subject to hybrid deal. So this is a deal where you're buying a property subject to existing financing. So you're taking over the payments on a primary loan. Then there is a hybrid portion, meaning that there is an equity piece that the seller is financing back to you as the buyer, hence why they become the bank for the second position. Now, $369,000. Why would someone sell this? Typically, it's because they get to sell the property for a higher price. So in combination with the mortgage rate of the primary mortgage and also the interest rate of the secondary mortgage, that's still below what the market interest rates are. So that's why they're selling it for a little bit more money. So this is 1554 Lund Woods Trail in Lakeland, Florida. 105. It's a big price reduction. So that's probably why they're selling on creative finance. They just have not been able to find a buyer for this. Looks pretty nice for a mobile home, to be honest with you. I probably will just set aside some money to paint the place, but not much rehab on this property. It looks really turnkey. So let's go ahead and plug in these numbers so that we can go through the mechanics. Asking price $369,900. Renovations, let's go ahead and plug in just enough to cover the square footage. So I'm going to go to row. I usually replace higher pressure flush toilets. And then I go to the painting section. And this property is 2,160 square feet at 2,160 square feet. It's $3 a square foot for painting. $500 for some landscaping. $1,500 for the roof, just in case there's any issues there. And let's go ahead and go all the way down. Total rehab of 11 grand. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Just to kind of set that aside. And if you do better than expected, then great. Next thing you want to do is you want to look up your county and you want to look up your maximum rent or rent ceiling for Polk County in 33811. So you're going to Google HUD FMR. You're going to click on the first link. You're going to scroll down to access the small area FMRs. You're going to click on look up FY 2025 small area FMRs. You're going to pick up Florida. You'll pick up Polk County, Polk. And then the zip code again is 33811. And you're going to see that the rent ceiling is $2,320 for a 4-bedroom. $2,320 for a 4-bedroom. I'm just going to write these numbers down. And $1,850. 33811. All right. 2211 is the market rent, 2211. So that means that when you compare this to your market rent, 2211 for 25 units within a 1.5 mile radius, 2200 is probably the rent I'm going to be using because typically this 2320 also includes things such as utilities. And if you don't provide utilities, you got to back them off. But you got to take the lower of the two because this is the more reasonable rent in this situation. 2211. 2222. 2222. 2273. And then zip is 2339. Okay. 232. So the rent that we're going to be using is going to be 2200 in this scenario. And that's because of the rent reasonableness test, right? When you compare the market rent to the rent ceiling, you have to apply the test called the rent reasonableness test. And in section 2.2 of the Housing Choice Voucher Program Guidebook, right? Housing Choice Voucher Program Guidebook, section 2.2. This is what was previously known as Section 8 vouchers, but they rebranded from Section 8 vouchers to Housing Choice vouchers because of all the negative connotations that were associated with that. So now you got the size, you got the unit type. So in conducting rent reasonableness, the PHA, or the Public Housing Authority, must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units. This essentially means that you can't charge more for rent simply because they're a voucher holder, right? For obvious reasons. So using $2,200 as the rent, we got the purchase price, we got a renovation. Let's go ahead and plug in the rest of our numbers here, right? So what is our entry fee? Our entry fee is $21,097. That's the cash to the seller and agent. $4,903. That's the arrear. So that means that's probably why they're selling it on subject to, because they've fallen behind their mortgage and now they want someone to help them catch up on their mortgage to bring it current so that the buyer can also take over the underlying loan. $10,000 for assignment fee. And let's plug in the rest of the details here. Where is this? Here's your other mortgage information. Let's go ahead and plug. I guess I didn't copy over earlier. 309,334. 309,334, 4.5% interest rate. That's your information for the first mortgage. And I'm plugging that right into the spreadsheet so you know exactly how to do it. 2021, backing out 30 years because this one was 2051. So I'm doing 2021. Second loan amount, so just a smaller piece, but that's going to be $3,000. So they're probably getting 25 grand above what they were probably getting in terms of offers, but now they're going to finance at 3%. Boom. 10-year balloon. Okay. So now that you got all your mortgages in here, what you want to do is take total PITI amount of 2451 equals 2451. And you subtract the principal and interest of the subject to loan, the principal and interest of the seller financing piece, and that's going to give you the remaining amount for taxes and insurance that you're going to be paying on a monthly basis, right? That's why you don't need to get the exact amount of the principal and interest breakout portion of each payment, because you're able to use that and apply that towards the situation so that you can just add it all up and figure out what you are going to be able to charge. So at $780, you got monthly insurance of $50. I got 10% for my maintenance. And just to be clear, I'm adding $50 because insurance in Florida goes up every single year. So I'm just being a little bit more conservative, especially if someone was living there as a primary residence. It's probably going to be more expensive as an investment property. So adding $50 right away per month. 10% set aside for maintenance every single month or big replacements, right? Roof is going to get replaced. If you don't set aside this money, you're going to be overestimating your profitability because you're underestimating expense. This money doesn't belong to you. You know that HVAC is going to get replaced. You know that roof is going to get replaced. So please, please, please set aside this money every single month. 10% for property management expenses, 5% for vacancy because the property is going to be empty at some point, right? And so if you rent it out as a 4-bedroom for $2,200, you'll be negative $851 of cash flow a month. It's a negative 18% return, assuming you bought this property for $370 grand roughly, with a $11,000 rehab. Now, this is not investment advice. I'm obviously not soliciting any investments on the call. I'm just showing all the mechanics of how to plug in a seller financing hybrid deal into the calculator, right? Just because it's not a deal for me might not mean it's not a deal for somebody else, right? Deal is very subjective. If someone's just looking to buy a home as it used as a primary residence, well, in this scenario, they could probably buy the home for 60 grand all in, including renovations on a $370,000 property. Might that be a deal for somebody? Maybe. Not for me. And again, there's some people that just want to break even on cash flow, right? If they just make 5% or 5% on the appreciation, which is very speculative to be clear, then that's going to be very risky. So I hope you all copy my homework. I hope you are able to, hi baby, hi Soleil. I hope you are able to copy my homework. And if you guys want to copy the spreadsheet, just go to the Get Deal Analysis tool on affordablehousing.io, put in your name, your email, your phone number. That's the fastest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet. I didn't make the spreadsheet from scratch, so this is the easiest way for you to get a copy of the spreadsheet. And go to, I got a copy of this from a few other folks that combined it, I tweaked it, I modified so that we can analyze these deals as quick as possible for Section 8. So get a copy of the spreadsheet, copy my homework, put it on your YouTube channel, and I hope you all have an amazing Thursday. I'll be back again tomorrow for day 363. Have a good one, everybody.